Welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron for iGold Advisor. It is February 17th, 2021, and we are going to look at this silver squeeze. What is going on? What is the evidence that we see in front of us? And what can you do to participate in this? And how much might you profit? Let's take a look at all of this coming up. So the first thing is, what is the best way to participate in this silver squeeze if you would like to squeeze and get the big banks that are shorting silver? Let's just talk about this. Number one would be to buy physical silver, such as bars or coins. The problem with that is that the physical market is very tight right now. And I would not recommend paying 30 or 40% in some cases premiums above the actual silver value for, let's say, silver eagles or silver maples. Even bars are carrying extremely high premiums. That is if you can get the silver in the first place. Many dealerships are sold out at this point. So I don't think it's a smart idea to pay 30% premiums for that. At this point, if you want to support this movement, the best way to do that is by buying the Sprott Physical Silver Trust, ticker PSLV in the United States. Now, first of all, I have no association with the Sprott Physical Silver Trust whatsoever. They are not paying me to say this. I am simply an independent analyst who is telling you the best way if you want to support this movement. Why is the Sprott Physical Silver Trust better than the SLV, the fund that has SLV without the P at the front? It's because the SLV has just changed their prospectus to indicate that they may not actually deliver all the silver that they intend to. They may not actually be able to take delivery of it. Now, to my knowledge, Sprott has not made that change in his fund. And so by buying the Sprott Physical Silver Trust, you are forcing this trust to stand for delivery of 1,000-ounce silver bars on the COMEX. The more pressure that is applied to this fund, he has to go out every several months and stand for delivery. So if you want to try to break the COMEX, if you want to try to break the banks, the way to do it is by buying the PSLV. And look, this is not hypothetical anymore. Take a look right down here below the main chart. This is volume. We're looking at monthly volume. This is since the inception of the fund. This fund only began trading back here in late 2010. This is the highest monthly volume of all time. Over 10 years of data. And you know what else? This month is barely even half over yet. So this is already happening. People are piling into this fund knowing that Sprott is going to have to, based on the prospectus of the fund, he is going to have to stand for delivery of a tremendous number of 1,000-ounce silver bars. The other thing is that you can take delivery of those 1,000-ounce silver bars from Sprott if you want to. Most people don't want to do that. I wouldn't recommend that unless you really have a safe storage solution. And you want to arrange for delivery through one of the armored vehicles that deliver these 1,000-ounce bars. But the point is that you can do it. And people are doing it. And this is great to see. If you're participating in this silver squeeze, it's great to see the all-time high volume and that people are actually going out and doing this. I'll tell you, I've been following the silver market for about 15 years now, pretty much on a daily basis. And this is the first time that I have ever seen such rhetoric about trying to initiate this silver squeeze for real amongst more mainstream type participants. Yeah, you've got the hardcore gold and silver bugs who have been talking about this for years and years. But this is the first time that I'm actually seeing evidence for it. What we just saw, the all-time high record volume, this is the first time that I've ever seen that. This is tremendous. So we'll see, maybe the silver squeeze doesn't happen right now. Maybe it actually takes a couple months or maybe even the better part of this year for Sprott to go out and buy the silver bars, and that's when the COMEX has to deliver all this silver. But, I mean, where there is smoke, there is fire, like we like to say. And on that note, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button so that you will be notified when these free videos come out. And while you're there, make sure that you hit the bell icon. That's what actually sends you the notifications when these videos get uploaded. So make sure to subscribe right now. So what we're going to do in this video is what we do in this service, which is to focus on price action of the underlying commodity. And in this case, we are talking about spot silver prices. We're looking over the last 3 days. We like to look short term. Is there anything noteworthy to talk about over the short run? Not a whole lot. It looks like we're seeing stability here above the $27 mark, which is very nice to see. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another dip back toward 26 though, so be on the lookout for that. Let's zoom it out to the primary perspective here. We are talking about silver going back from the beginning of 2020 through the present. We'll bring up our key. I know there's a whole lot of lines, but just keep in mind the state that silver is in is where both the primary rising trend, as shown in here in the turquoise trend, and the primary downward trend from the peak in 2020 have both been broken. So both of these are broken trends. And when you have two broken trends, you start to look for, hey, what are the secondary trends that are playing in here right now? So there's a bit of a rising trend now coming from the recent low at 21.85 here back in November. You can see in the blue color. And other than that, we are sandwiched between resistance, basically, square at the $30 mark, shown in black for horizontal resistance. So you're sandwiched between resistance and support here in the low to mid 20s. And you can see that support is rising in time, which is very nice to see. So what do we expect for silver here going forward? It's important to remember that if you're participating in this silver squeeze, you have the possibility of not only causing some pain to these large banks, but you also have the possibility of profiting from this. And so what we're doing here is we're going to be looking at realistic expectations for silver over the intermediate time frame. And the way that we do that is by making some amplitude measurements here. So what we're going to do, first we'll spell out the expected trajectory based on the fact that we have two broken trends. We have the beginning of a new rising trend that's in play right now. Our expectations are that we can see 1, 2. It looks very likely that the third attempt here to challenge this $30 mark is coming here within the next several days, couple of weeks or so. You can see the lows are coming up very nicely. However, we do not believe at iGold Advisor, we do not believe that silver is going to blast through 30 immediately on the third attempt. We believe it will back off one more time on a highest probability basis, that this back off should not be as steep as the decline that we saw after the second attempt, where it fell from 30, just above 30, back down to right below 26. This next back off attempt should come right back down to 27, 27.50 in that range. And it looks, again, on a highest probability basis, that the breakout above 30 will be coming on the fourth attempt. Okay, so we're gearing up for attempt number 3, and then it should be attempt number 4 where this thing breakouts. That said, I would not want to be without my silver exposure now in this window. Whether I'm going physical silver, whether I'm going Sprott Silver Trust, whether I'm going some of the leveraged forms where you will make significant gains when silver breaks out above 30, such as the silver miners, I wouldn't necessarily want to wait for this pullback. I would be finalizing my positions pretty much now. Now, when we break above 30, when that happens on a dual weekly close basis, what we will have here is a beautiful cup formation. You're going to see this. It's going to look like a a saucer cup, a teacup right here from the August peak just below $30 through when the breakout finally happens. This will end up being something like a 9-month cup formation. This is what we're expecting at this time. And the important point is going to be that the amplitude of the cup, this $8.40 amplitude, if we back out the chart, which we will do right now, that amplitude, that $8.40, and by the way, we were just looking at this shaded box here, that amplitude is going to help give us our legitimate target for silver over the near term. We're going to talk about near term, after the breakout happens, and then over the next several months. What will our target be? So let's look at that, because this is going to help you, especially if you're participating in the squeeze and you're wondering, hey, where is the point where I could take some profits off the table? Or if you're looking at some of the silver miners, and a lot of these companies are going to do fantastic when this squeeze happens. But where would be the point to think about taking some of your profits off the table? It's going to have to do with that $8.40 amplitude. So, by the way, just for reference, when is it that we got bullish on silver? It was right back here. Remember, the breakout above this primary declining trend, which happened at the exact figure in July of last year, was $18.60. We were talking about that for over a year. It has to break 1860. Boom, as soon as that happened, silver just shot higher, right? Almost doubled from that breakout point. And now we have this cup going on. So the target when we break $30 is going to be that $8.40 amplitude added on to the most recent peak here, which was actually $30.05. This will give us a target right up here. We're talking a near-term target. After this breakout happens, a near-term couple of month target for silver is going to be $38.45. That is the amplitude of this cup. This is how this form of analysis works. We look at how much buying and selling pressure occurred during this cup, and remembering that a large number of people, a large number of speculators and hedge funds were shorting silver in this decline right now. And by studying the amplitude measurements, we can have fairly reliable statistics on what level of short covering is going to occur after the breakout happens. That's why these amplitude measurements work for target projections. Okay, so this will be an immediate target. And look, we can talk about when is silver going to break above 50. We can talk about that when we start achieving these intermediate targets, right? I see no need to talk about when silver is going to break that right now. Let's see the evidence. Let's watch for it. And when we get up here, we will then start discussing what's going to be the pathway toward 50 and beyond. So we're talking real world expectations. What can we expect when this breakout above $30.05 occurs? I want to remind you that if you like this form of analysis, we have a service that is called Precious Metals Intelligence. This includes premium videos exactly as you are watching right now, except they are longer. They tend to be 45 to 75 minutes in length every single week. We cover not only silver and the silver squeeze, we cover gold, we cover the things that are impacting the precious metals market, such as the US dollar, the stock market, and the rest of the commodity market. And we also cover the leveraged forms of silver that we are investing in, that we believe if silver goes to that $38 mark, which is somewhere around, from present levels, somewhere around a 30% increase, we believe a lot of the gold and silver miners especially are going to double or triple in value as that move in the underlying silver is going to occur. So if you want to talk about what's the best way to participate in the silver squeeze, at this point, it's by buying PSLV. What's the best way to profit? It's actually by buying a lot of the undervalued silver miners. So I think there's place for both of those. There's ways to participate and squeeze the banks, Let's go. Let's do this. And let's profit from it at the same time. If you would like to speak to me one-on-one about your situation, if you have a unique situation, or if you are new to the precious metals market and you want to understand more about what we are talking about here, or if you would like to tailor your individual strategy with someone such as myself, to be precise, who does not take any funds or fees from any of the companies or funds that we are profiling here. If you would like to speak to an independent precious metals strategist about your situation, please know that I can be reached on the Consultations tab on our website, and we work together to come up with a best course of action for you. Your plan is going to be very different from someone else's plan. This is not a competition we're in here to see who has the best plan, who has the most leverage. This is about doing it right for you. So once again, guys, it's a very exciting time that we're living through. I mean, you think about that volume, all-time high record volume coming into the Sprott Physical Silver Trust, the PSLV. When the month is only half over, you have most shelves in silver dealerships that are completely out of stock. They're on back order. You can't even get it if you want. Look, we've been talking about this for 10 or 20 years. This is the closest that we've ever been to actually seeing this occur. So strap on your seatbelts. This is not going to be a smooth ride. This is going to be volatile in every conceivable way. But let's get through this together. I'll see you this time next week. Stay safe and stay well.